At the Tokyo Dome. Before the game, one of the innovations that the Japanese have come up with, they actually have dual batting cages. In the States, you just have one. And here they have a lefty and a righty going at it at the same time. And Kenny, I can't believe that no one gets hurt in the field. They said it's been doing it for 20 years and no one's ever been hit in the field.
There are baseballs flying all over the place, as you might expect. But they seem to be in rhythm. Like the left-hander on the right will throw, and then the right-hander on the left will throw. So there's a certain rhythm to it, and nobody gets injured. But does that mean batting practice takes half the time?
You know, I thought that too, and the way it was explained to me is that they just get more batting practice, and they love to work. Their spring training days are about 9 hours long. In the States, it's about 3 hours, so they probably are able to get more swings this way because they have double the amount of pitches.
Well, it's back to that old Players Association thing.
The pitch to Sheffield. Lined into center field. Akahoshi is there, and he'll put it away for the first out of the inning.
Sheffield hasn't been getting his hits lately, but when you see him hitting the ball like that, then you start to feel the hits are going to come pretty soon. Oh. Hey, Michael, is that sushi?
I wouldn't know what it looks like.
It's good stuff. It looks like he's enjoying it.
I have not. I've been losing some weight here, let me tell you that. Here's Posada. A little bit low. Now, the Yankee first base coach is Roy White. Roy White played here in the early 80s. And when he saw the innovation of the two batting cages, he said, well, that'll be in the States soon. He said, because when I was here in the 80s, things that I saw we didn't have. He said, like the soft toss screen, which you always see behind home plate. He goes, 10 years later, it was in the States. He said, they come up with ideas, and we end up adapting to it. And Roy White is one of 3 players, Clete Boyer, Jim Lefevre, the other 2, that have won championships in America and also here in Japan. Roy was a member of the Yankees' 77 and 78 championship teams, and then came to the Yomiuri Giants, and they won in 1981. He really enjoyed his experience here in Japan, and now back with the Yankees. You see what he did the 3 seasons with the Yomiuri Giants, a .283 lifetime average in Japan. And he had a great career, a very, very good career with the Yankees.
Solid baseball player.
Yes, he was.
Good defensively. Holds the record for sacrifice flies in one season. And he broke the record in his last at bat. I don't remember the year, but he hit the ball so well. But how many guys root for a ball to stay in the park instead of going out? He was rooting for it to stay in.
The 2-2. Grounded toward third, foul, backhanded by Kincaid. Roy was also a pretty good outfielder. Didn't have a good arm.
Yeah, but he played solid left field.
There was one season he won 162 games without an error.
And a welcome addition to the Yankee coaching staff. He was the hitting coach for the Oakland AAA team at Sacramento last year. And, several of their big hitters in their lineup, including Chavez, Eric Chavez. He had him in the minor leagues.
Just off the end of the bat by Posada. Well, he's thrilled to be back with the Yankees. Yankees have a reconfigured coaching staff. You've got Roy White, the first base coach. The new third base coach is Luis Sojo. Willie Randolph, who'd been the third base coach for Joe Torre, and before that, Buck Showalter is now Joe Torre's bench coach. And the new hitting coach is that man, Don Mattingly. And the count is full at 3-2. Mel Stoudemire remains the pitching coach. Rich Monteleone, the bullpen coach.
A little point here. Posada, no matter what he does in this at-bat, he's come to 3-2. He's run the count full. He has seen just about every pitch that Makawa has. So this benefits him throughout the game.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. And Posada is down on strikes. Now, we mentioned Roy White. So Susan Waldman caught up with Roy, and she asked him what was his favorite moment playing in Japan.
I would guess the Japan series, my second year here, which is their World Series. And we were losing in game 2, going into the bottom of the 8th inning, and I hit a 2-run homer that won the game. And that kind of turned the series around because we swept them after that. So that was kind of a famous home run and a memorable moment for me.
Good gentleman, Roy White. John Flaherty at the plate takes a breaking ball for a strike.
You had mentioned how the Yankee lineup was going to change, and it was Susan who actually filled us in. What was going to happen tomorrow with Kenny Lofton batting ninth, Derek Jeter leading off.
And she got a chance to talk to Kenny Lofton, and Kenny said he would do whatever Joe Torre said, but he said about 6 or 7 times, I am a leadoff guy.
Yeah, well.
And he said, I go into a different mode once the season starts. Remember, Kenny Lofton is a .298 lifetime batting average.
6 times he's hit 300 or better, but he hasn't hit much in spring training this year.
And it must be very strange for him. It's the second inning with 2 outs.
And he hasn't
even hit yet.
Yeah.
And the 1-2. Now, for those of you that are going to go to bed before the end of this game, you have to wake up early. Here's a chance to really write down tomorrow's starting lineup. This is the starting lineup Yankees will have against the Devil Rays. We'll have that game right here at 5 a.m. on Yes. This is what Joe Torre is going to send out against Victor Zambrano of the Devil Rays. And Kenny Lofton will bat ninth. Derek Jeter will lead off with Matsui at the number 2 hole. Hit sharply left side through for a base hit. So John Flaherty picks up a 2-out single.
We mentioned how valuable John Flaherty was for the Yankees last year whenever he got a chance to start behind the plate, which wasn't often because Jorge Posada's an all-star, plays just about every single day, but Flaherty seemed to contribute. I guess the best day he had last year was August 16th in Baltimore when John hit a couple of home runs, and he became the first catcher other than Posada to hit 2 or more home runs in a game since 1995 when Mike Stanley hit 3 against the Cleveland Indians.
Here's Miguel Cairo, and there's Joe Flaherty, or Joe Girardi, and he is going to join us in the broadcast booth for that first game. Now, I keep saying tomorrow, this whole losing a day, it's Tuesday morning, 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. on Tuesday morning, 4:30 pregame, and that's the way it's going to work. That's when you'll see the Yankees open the season against the Devil Rays. You think Fred Hickman, who has to get up at about 3 o'clock in the morning, you think he's sleeping right now, getting ready?
Well, you know, he's probably got all his wake up coffee and everything is going to be on time. He's already set the timer on the coffee.
Breaking ball. How about that on 2-0? You throw a breaking ball. This is a different league.
To the number 8 hitter. Well, maybe he was watching the game last night. He saw what happened on some fastballs. And Don Mattingly talking with Gary Sheffield. And, 2 pretty good hitters in your picture right there.
3 with Reggie Jackson.
Oh, I didn't see Mr. Excitement.
Line drive. Base hit down the left field line. That goes into the corner and up against the wall. Flaherty will chug into third. He'll stop right there. Held up by Soho, and Cairo picks up a 2-out double.
Miguel Cairo had been bothered by a sore hamstring. Doesn't seem to be bothering him here as he gets a hanging breaking ball. He missed the 2-0 pitch. Was a curveball for a strike. Comes back with another one. It was up somewhat. He laces it into the corner. And Kanemoto is going to come up and get it back in quickly. Played that ball out of the corner well, and the Yankees have runners at second and third.
Now, Kenny mentioned this before. Kenny Lofton wants to lead off again. He has to come through in these situations. Doesn't like batting ninth. But maybe if he picks up a couple of base hits today, he could change Joe Torre's mind. And that one gets past the catcher. Yano rolls all the way to the backstop. Flaherty will score. And moving to third is Cairo. That's a wild pitch. The Yankees are up 1-0.
You know, I've had experience like I would imagine all hitters have had being dropped down the line. If you see the breaking ball and Yano doesn't get in front of it, and it's going to enable his counterpart, the Yankee catcher John Flaherty, to score. I can recall, I don't recall batting ninth, but I've been dropped to the 8th spot before. And I might add, it was for good reason. I mean, I couldn't hit water if I fell out of a boat. So Joe Torre moving Kenny Lofton down to number 9, but it can serve as an impetus to try to get you to start hitting. Because you want to hit. I enjoyed hitting in the first inning.
There's a ground ball, a short, so his struggles continue. And Lofton is gunned down for the final out of the second inning. Yankees take the lead, though. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the second. Yankees lead 1-0.
This Sunday, start collecting Hall of Fame Yankees in the Daily News. Every Sunday, you'll get a free 8x10 print of a Yankees Hall of Famer, along with the stats that got him there in a colorful Bill Gallo portrait. Now you can create your own Yankees Hall of Fame from the official Daily News photo collection. Greats like Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Phil Rizzuto, Mickey Mantle, and this Sunday, Yogi Berra. Get your frameable photos free every Sunday, only in the Daily News.
What's the difference between here and here? According to my national wireless plan, here there's no charge for roaming. But here, I get slammed. Nothing. Big bill. If you can't see the line, how are you supposed to know when you crossed it?
With the new Singular Nation, you never pay roaming or long distance, in or out of network. Right now, get 5,000 truly nationwide mobile-to-mobile minutes and a great deal on a cool phone.
I call it my I know exactly what I get plan.
Singular Nation, another reason Singular fits you best.
You'd recognize that shape anywhere. That's A, that girl you went out with 5 years ago. B, a girl that wouldn't talk to you 5 years ago. C, a bottle of bags. Life beckons, and you're holding the key.
With a more powerful engine, a smoother riding suspension, control track four-wheel drive, and advanced track stability system, Ford SUVs go anywhere. Now a special shipment is here for the best selection and best deals. Now get the best-selling SUV on the planet, Ford Explorer, for only $259 a month. Just $259 for an Explorer XLT 4x4. Ford SUVs, the best selection and best deals now.
We go to the bottom of the second inning here at the Tokyo Dome. Yankees lead 1-0 on a wild pitch, allowing John Flaherty to score. And here's George Arias to lead off against Donovan Osborne. Osborne would like to save some wins. He's 4-0 in spring training with a 4.15, but that has certainly helped him get this number 5 spot. And the fans out in left field don't care about Donovan Osborne. They want a home run by Arias.
Well, they got a few from him last year. He hit 38 of them, had 107 runs batted in. Arias has played in the States for the Angels primarily.
Line drive, base hit to left field for Arias. Matsui gets the ball in. You know, you see a guy like Arias, who was a borderline player in the major leagues in the States, and then you see Tuffy Rhodes, who's a superstar here in Japan. Is the level of play that much less here than it is in the United States?
I think the quality of pitching on a daily basis is not quite as good over here. But as a player like Arias or Tuffy Rhodes, who are borderline and probably would have spent much more time in the minor leagues, they come over here and make pretty good money. And, you know, what did Tuffy tell you? He's made $30 million here in Japan. Mm-hmm. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Here's Toritani, and the pitch is inside.
Toritani, they feel, is going to be the rookie of the year this year, the shortstop. This is his first year, of course, and the Triple Crown winner in college. So he's showing some power. And he was a big star in college, the biggest star since his teammate Takahashi.
And Osborne trying to keep Arias close.
The crowd out in left field are chanting the name Toritani, Toritani over and over again. We still haven't heard the Michael K cheer yet, though.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
That's one of the cheerleaders that will tell them what cheers that they should start.
There it is. The Michael K cheer. Listen to this, folks. Michael K.
You've lost your mind, Kenny.
Yeah.
Fouled away. I think the time change really got you.
Listen. Is they not saying Michael K?
I'm honored.
I'll tell you what.
I think Sterling's heading out there right now to talk with them. The 1-2. He struck him out. Nice pitching there by Osborne as Toritani goes down on strikes. One away.
First strikeout for Osborne. It appeared to be that is really shaking me up.
Number 39.
Yeah, it was an off-speed pitch. Had Toritani out in front, and Donovan Osborne picks up his first strikeout of the afternoon. You notice the guards that some of the hitters wear on their feet, and American players don't have those, and these are very stylish. You see with the strap around, and those the ones in the States, they actually flap around, but those are anchored to the shoe and seem to do the job.
Here's Akihiro Yano. He's got his name on it.
That's styling.
Bucky think he has a short inning. Ground ball up the middle, off the glove of Cairo, and it caroms into left field. Arias will go to third. Matsui gets the ball in. Might have hit a seam on Cairo and took a very awkward hop, and he almost got hit in the face with that ball.
Yeah, that happened last night to Enrique Wilson. There was a ball that he was charged with an error on, but it actually hit the seam right around second base. That's what you will get on artificial surface from time to time. No, it hit the dirt and took an erratic hop. The dirt being harder than the turf itself, and the ball comes up a little higher than Cairo anticipated. Takes it off the forearm. The ball goes all the way into left field, and the Tigers have runners at first and third. Did they give him a hit?
Yes, they did. Wow. Here's Atsushi Fujimoto, who used to be the shortstop for the Tigers, but they think so much of the kid Toritani, they moved Fujimoto over to second, and he fouls one away. And it's almost what happened with the New York Mets, with Matsui becoming the shortstop and Jose Reyes going to a second base. Fujimoto broke his bat, so he'll get another one. You see Fujimoto's stats, and certainly very good numbers, a .301 batting average, but they think so much of Toritani that he told Fujimoto to move over.
Michael, at least wave to the people out there so they'll stop this cheer.
No, I don't want them to stop. The 0-1. And the count is 0-2.
They are not going to stop until you acknowledge that you're...
I'm big in Japan.
Well, yeah, you're 6'3". Can't help it.
The 0-2, line drive, base hit to right field. Arias will score. Moving to second is Yano. It's an RBI single for Fujimoto, and the game is tied at 1.
Well, he mentioned the fact that Donovan Osborne has to be very fine with his pitches, and he missed just enough for Fujimoto to get the barrel of the bat on the ball. It was supposed to be over the inside corner. It was a little bit towards the middle of the plate, not much, but Fujimoto with 2 strikes was quick enough to line it in the right field for a base hit and tie the ball game. This is a contact type team.
And the pitch to Amoka is a strike on the outside corner. Big numbers for Amoka last year, 340. Designated hitter leading off. He won the batting title in the Central League. Popped that one up. Out of play. A lot of foul territory here at the Dome. Amoka beat Ramirez by 7 points for the batting title.
Yano is third, his teammate. Takahashi. And Ken Suzuki. Ken Suzuki, all right.
Bill Miller, the American League batting titleist last year. Manny Ramirez second, and Derek Jeter third. Bill Miller, the third baseman for the Red Sox. That one's lofted to right field. Sheffield on the run. Going to be a tough play. It's going to dunk in for a base hit. Yano will round third. He'll score. Heading to third is Fujimoto. It's an RBI single for Amoka, and the Tigers have taken a 2-1 lead.
Once again, just trying to make contact. You can see he didn't have the best of swings, but this is well placed. a looper down the right field line, falls on a hop or two in front of Sheffield. A run will score and runs at first and third. So just the fact that not taking the big swing and missing like we saw from several of the Giant players last night, the Yomiuri Giants. Contact is a thing for these Tigers.
So Lieber in a jam, runners on the corners, still just one out. Hanshin leads 2-1 over the Yankees. A bunt. It is a safety squeeze. The run scores. It's a base hit, beautifully executed by Akahoshi, and the Tigers lead 3-1. And the fans out left field, they enjoy the little ball.
You know, it's interesting to watch how two teams are so diversely different in the approach of the Yomiuri Giants last night. More like the Yankees with the power approach, but the Hanshin Tigers, little ball. Working successfully for them. This is an excellent bunt by Akahoshi. And with his speed, no problems getting the runner home and no problems beating it out for a base hit.
That's a safety squeeze. Here in Japan, they do not like the suicide squeeze. They think it's much too dangerous. They think that you're risking way too much and giving an out away if you can't get the bunt down. So they go with the safety squeeze. And that was a safety drag bunt by Akahoshi, beautifully executed. So 3 runs against Donovan Osborne, and the Tigers lead 3-1. Runners on first and second, still one out for Mike Kincaid. Now Donovan Osborne is the number 5 starter for 2 reasons. The main reason is John Lieber, who was supposed to be the number 5 starter, has been set back by a persistent groin injury, has not been able to get his throwing in. He will probably miss the entire month of April. Jorge DePaula was supposed to be the 6th starter, so to speak, but his back has been bothering him. He hasn't gotten in the proper throwing. And while this was all going on, it all opened up for Donovan Osborne. He compiled a 4-0 record, and he is the number 5 starter at least through April. And you never know. If he wins every start, maybe John Lieber doesn't get a chance to get back into the rotation. If he gets roughed up the first couple, maybe it's time for Jorge DePaula. But this is certainly an opportunity for a guy who signed as a non-roster player.
You know, each succeeding start that he had gotten, the opportunity was limited at the beginning, but he showed enough to get another opportunity to pitch, and he just kept getting better and better.
And the count now 3-1 on Kincaid. So hitter's pitch on the way. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Amoka at second. Akahoshi at first. Hanshin leads the Yankees 3-1. And he missed inside. Doesn't want to come over to the plate with his stuff. And the bases are loaded with Tigers for the cleanup hitter, Kanemoto.
It looks like Mel Stoudemire is going to go out and talk to Donovan Osborne, try and slow things down here as Kincaid draws the base on balls. Interesting story about the Hanshin Tigers. The division winner here, and they won the Central Division last year, traditionally opens up at home. But if you've been watching television here, they have the National High School Championships this year, and they're playing at Cochin Stadium every single year. So the Tigers, for 70 years, have not opened up at home because of the high school championships. Now, also, they have high school championships later on in the summer in August. And those last 3 weeks, the Tigers have to go on a road trip for 3 weeks. They call it the death trip because usually their season is decided during those 3 weeks of August whether they're going to be a playoff team or not. And they have, for all these years, they have never complained about the way this sets up because Cochin Stadium, every youngster that plays baseball dreams of playing at Cochin Stadium in Osaka, where the Hanshin Tigers are based. Osaka, Japan, being the second biggest city in the country.
Vince Kanemoto is striking the Cochin High School's tournament is watched by everybody in this country of 140 million people. And a lot of pressure on the kids playing there. That is where you make your mark, whether or not you can be able to play in the big league, so to speak. That one's fouled back.
And that's where Matsui made his fame. And hopefully, when he came out of high school, he wanted to play for the Hanshin Tigers. But, of course, the Giants drafted him. So Cochin Stadium, but we mentioned it in the open. Built in 1936. I played there years ago on our tour. And it kind of reminds you, in terms of history, it's like Yankees. Every youngster wants to play in that stadium.
Well, we've got to ask Jim Cockis. He was there when it opened. I think he played that year. So.
Oh.
Kitty's sleeping by now. Long drive to right center field, and that is going to dunk in for a base hit. 2 runs are going to score. Excellent base running by Akahoshi as Kanemoto picks up a 2-run single, and Hanshin has put a 5 spot on the board here in the second. They lead the Yankees 5-1.
Once again, not too solid of contact, but it gets done. And this is going to loop in front of Sheffield in right center. Another ball, not well hit, but well placed. Few dunkers, few bleeders, some speedy base runners, and it results in 5 runs being scored here in the bottom of the second inning.
And it results in the Tigers batting around. Here's Hamanaka. Runners on first and second. That one's in the dirt, blocked by Flaherty. So Osborne is getting roughed up in a non-painful manner because, as Kenny said, they're certainly not battering Osborne, but they're doing enough.
Every hit this inning, every hit he has given up in the game, all 8 of them have been singles.
Innings like this are going to tire out those fans in left field. They haven't taken a seat. Slow roller back to Osborne. Bobbles it. Just got him. Just got him. First base umpire Jerry Meals says Hamanaka did not beat the throw. So the runners move up, but there are 2 away now for George Arias.
Yeah, there's the bobble, the recovery, and the throw accurately to first base. And a close play, but it appeared that they just got him. Is Hamanaka thrown out by a half a step or maybe less.
Now with runners on second and third and 2 outs, Arias, who started off with a single through the left side of the infield, is at the plate again. And there's a breaking ball strike.
They talked about all those fad diets. I think if you sat out there with those fans in left field during the course of the game, you would have a workout if you followed every movement they've made during the course of the game.
Line drive, base hit to center field for Arias. 1 run scores. Here comes Kanemoto. He'll score ahead of the tag by Flaherty. It's a 2-run single by Arias, and the Tigers lead 7-1.
Solid base hit. This one is no fluke. As Arias gets a pitch out over the plate and delivers. Solid single into center field, and it's now a 7-1 game. Lofton's throw on the money, but late as the runner comes in to score. Being waved home, didn't hesitate. These guys have a lot of speed in their lineup.
Here's Toritani, who struck out earlier in the inning. Osborne deals to the rookie. He pitches low. So far, 7 runs on 7 hits in this inning.
There's Kincaid. Kanemoto to slide.
Flaherty had the plate blocked, but Kanemoto kind of moved the foot with the slide. And the count is 3-0. Osborne certainly getting in his work in this inning alone. And there's a strike right down the middle. Toritani taking all the way. They don't swing 3-0 here in Japan. They want to work the count full. A lot of players say they don't even take anything seriously until the count is full. Ground ball to second base. Cairo flips to Jeter, and that will do it, but not before. The Tigers score 7 runs on 7 hits. No error, and 1 man left. At the end of 2, it's 7-1 Tigers as we take a look at Shinjuku, which is a trendy West Side night spot here in Tokyo.
The exciting new, nothing else like it, GMC Envoy XUV. Exclusively at GMC dealers. Now get $3,750 total cash back or 0% APR for qualified buyers on every new 2004 GMC Envoy. To see the new XUV and the entire Envoy family, see the pros at your local GMC dealers.
You were drinking country water, trying to blow my head. Rubber dealing woman. Stop and lay my money down. Well, if you don't stop it, babe, find yourself sleeping in the ground.
In the desire to move ideas forward, printing in black and white has served us well. But color is more effective. The fly in the ointment. Cost. Imagine multi-function printers that give you low-cost color without raising the cost of your black and white. The new line of color printing systems from Ricoh. Ricoh.
The Yankees descend upon the land of the rising sun to kick off their 2004 campaign Tuesday. It's the historic season opener in Japan as Messina and the Yanks look to hook the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Pre-game coverage starts Tuesday morning at 4:30 only on Yes. The Bronx Bombers are back, rearmed, reloaded, and reunited for another run at the title. Join the Yes Network for a complete preview of the upcoming season on Yankees 2004. Coming up after the Yankees game only on Yes.
Yankees and the Devil Rays are the 36th American teams to come here and tour Japan, but the Yankees are no stranger. In 34, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig led a team of all-stars here to the Far East. They also visited 5 surrounding countries, and Babe Ruth took the place by storm. As a matter of fact, that was the last time that Babe Ruth would appear in a Yankee uniform, 1934 being his last Bomber year. Derek Jeter will lead off against Makawa. And the Tigers lead the Yankees 7-1. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You are watching Yankees baseball live from Tokyo, Japan, right here on the Yankee Entertainment and Sports Network. We certainly thank you for that. Thanks for staying up late. Now, we do want to tell you on Tuesday morning, 5 a.m., it's going to be the Yankees against the Devil Rays, and those games count. That is the first game of the Major League season. It's going to be Mike Messina for the Yankees getting the start, and Victor Zambrano for the Devil Rays. Our pregame show will be at 4:30 in the morning. Mark it down, and then the first pitch will be at 5. So breakfast with the Yankees. Forget about the Today Show. Forget about Good Morning America. This is the place to be on Tuesday morning. Katie, at match ratings in New York are going to be way down, Kenny.
Yeah, I wonder if Fred's going to do the weather like Al Roker.
Count 3-1. And we'll be joined in the booth that day by Joe Girardi, who's still in a Yankee uniform right now. He's not going to make the team unless there is an injury to a catcher. And Joe will join us in the booth as part of our broadcast team. Hit sharply to second base by Jeter. Fujimoto right there. 1 away. Now listen to the hand for Hideki Matsui.
Now batting, left fielder, number 55, Hideki Matsui.
It's a nice, warm hand. It's louder than anybody else gets, but it's not raucous by any stretch of the imagination.
I think one of the reasons is because he played for the Yomiuri Giants, and these are basically their rival fans. So it's polite. Yeah, we know who you are.
Mm-hmm. But even yesterday, it wasn't the kind of hand that you would hear a star at Yankee Stadium get. It's just a different
culture.
Different culture for sure. And the count is 1-1. Matsui has picked up 3 base hits, and Alex Rodriguez has struggled so far, although he did pick up an infield single in the first inning. He went hitless yesterday, or earlier this morning.
Michael, you get the sense that Matsui is well aware of the fact that he has the hopes of a country riding on his shoulders. A whole country, 140 million people.
He's the favored son here.
And I'll tell you, the way he comes through time and time again. You're right, movies are made of stuff like that.
Bad movies. Because nobody believes in movies like that.
Yeah. It's sort of like The Natural.
On last night, Matsui said, "It's been a long time since I played at Tokyo Dome, and I hit a home run right away. I'm really happy I could play well in front of the Japanese fans." Right back to the pitcher, Makawa. 2 away.
Third baseman, number 13.
Although it's a grounder back to the mound, it has been recorded in perpetuity. Everyone with a camera gets a shot of Matsui hacking.
You know, the way that this game is going right now with the Tigers ahead 7-1, in spring training, not often do you get too many day games following night games. But this is a day game following a night game here in Japan for the Yankees. And the Yankees are playing like that's just what it is. Sometimes it's tough to bounce back. But it's something they're going to have to get used to because it happens quite often during the course of the regular season.
Joe Torre also said after the game early this morning that the regulars are not going to play all 9 innings. He said, "We've got to get ready for the game that counts," and that's against the Devil Rays. Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. Alex Rodriguez broke his bat, so he's going to get another. And you know, you're torn if you're Joe Torre. There's a certain amount of pride. You don't want to be embarrassed. The Yankees are representing American baseball. Yesterday, they did that beautifully with a 6-2 win over the Yomiuri Giants. But Joe Torre has to worry about getting his team ready for the Devil Rays. That obviously is the most important thing. And maybe you don't leave Donovan Osborne out there for all 7 runs in the second inning if it's a game that counts, but he wants to get in his work.
Yeah, one thing we saw last night, he began to slot his relievers in situations where they would be pitching during the regular season. He brought in Paul Quantrill during the game last night to face a right-hander.
And the count now 0-2 on A-Rod.
And also, he ran this lineup out there today with Derek Jeter leading off. He didn't want it to be a surprise on opening day. You know, Jeter leads off to start the season. Well, that's a dramatic change. But today, Derek Jeter gets used to it by leading off, and Kenny Lofton gets used to batting in the 9th spot.
You do wonder, is Joe overreacting? Because it is spring training. Kenny Lofton's a .298 lifetime hitter, and veterans sometimes use spring training for completely different things. Yes, he has had a terrible spring, but does that warrant him being dropped out of the leadoff spot?
The way he's swinging the bat right now, I believe so, because he seems to be feeling for the ball.
So you don't care about the results, he just doesn't look good.
Yeah, he doesn't look good doing it. You know, the fact is, you know, Lofton's been in slumps before, but I think what you would see differently during the regular season if he was on the tailspin, that he would bunt more often. We haven't seen that in spring training. Lofton is an excellent bunter, but he's trying to get his swing together, and he can't seem to get that going. But during the regular season, Kenny Lofton would probably drop down a few bunts, beat him out, and you feel good about that. That's one thing that he has in his arsenal that he hasn't used during the course of spring training. But number one, you want to have your swing together.
Last year with the Pirates and the Cubs, he had a combined .296, so he's always around 300. The 0-2 to A-Rod. Low, and the count 1-2. Be interesting to see how it gnaws at the pride of Kenny Lofton. Type of ball player that takes a lot of pride in the fact that he leads off, and you know that Reggie Jackson's doing some mental work right now. That's one thing that Reggie does very, very well when he's around the team. He gets into the head of the players, and he is working right now on Kenny Lofton.
Last year it was Raul Mondesi who benefited from Reggie's presence and got off to a great start in the first half of the season before being moved to the Arizona Diamondbacks. And you know, Reggie commands, when you're in the Hall of Fame, you command respect. Don Mattingly commands respect as a great hitter, great fielder.
A-Rod has worked the count even, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees are trailing 7-1 top of the 3rd inning here at the Tokyo Dome.
A lot of off-speed stuff from Makawa to A-Rod. Let's see if he's going to try and sneak the fastball by him here. That could be a big-time mistake. Nope. Staying with the slow stuff. Now you got it to 3-2. The count was 0-2. A-Rod has seen just about everything he has. He's got a 7-1 lead. Throw a fastball.
Let's see if he does it on 3-2.
Yeah, he did, but wasn't
out of the strike zone. So Alex Rodriguez down 0-2 in the count. Makawa just would not come over the plate. He ends up walking, and that brings up Giambi.
Here's that last pitch for ball 4.
He's probably thinking it's an exhibition game.
You know what? A solo home run would not get in trouble. Get him in trouble. But if Giambi comes up and hit one with a man on base, that's what gets teams back in ball games. You start walking people, being too careful, and then you have multiple run homers that get the other team back in a ball game.
Giambi struck out into a double play in the 1st inning. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Matsui gunned down at 3rd. See Jason's spring numbers right there. 243, not impressive, but as Kenny has mentioned, he's looked better at the plate all spring than he had last year. He had his hanging breaking ball right there, and he fouled it back. You know he's disgusted. What do you always say, Kenny? Each at bat you get one pitch?
You get one, at least one. Sometimes they make mistakes, but you get one good swing in at bat, and that was it. I mean, it was up, kind of hanging. That was basically the same pitch that Matsui hit for the home run last night, but Matsui is locked in more than any other Yankee hitter right now.
And the count is 1-2. Makawa has thrown 61 pitches, 2 outs into the 3rd inning, 39 strikes and 22 off the plate. Missed outside, the count levels at 2-2. Hanshin with 7 runs in the 2nd inning of Osborne leads 7-1. Gary Sheffield on deck for the Yankees. High pop-up on a changeup left side. Toritani, the kid, is there, and the rookie puts it away for the final out of the inning. So for the Yankees in the 3rd, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, 7-1 Giants.
Close a great deal now with 0.9% financing or up to $2,500 cash back. On select new Nissans through March 31st at your Nissan dealer.
Son, come play.
Is DNA really evidence?
For Jen, truth was relative. Then she got Washington Mutual free checking. She likes the no hidden fees, and they inspire Jen to be more truthful.
Your Honor, my client pleads guilty.
I what?
Well, you are. Hi, I just changed lanes without signaling. Oh, and my plates are expired. Nice deck. Not really. We built it ourselves.
Way to go, Jen. We appreciate your bold honesty.
Dad, that's clean. Looks good, huh? Come around here and check it out. All right. That's smooth, right? Like that? Yeah. Check the big boy out. Navigation system. I like that. Beautiful leather seat. The seats are just real comfortable. See that? Hit that. Oh, okay. Huh? That's hot. I scored.
You look good in the car.
For sure.
I look good in this, I think.
You do.
So tonight, I think you should let me get the keys.
No way. No.
The 2004 Lincoln Navigator. Travel well.
Time for the singular call to the bullpen. Singular, the wireless company that fits you best. Joe Torre goes to Jorge DePaula, who deals to Akihiro Yano here in the third. So Donovan Osborne's day is done, and it was not very good. You see DePaula's numbers last year with the Yankees. Pitched very well. Ground ball, fair, inside third. That is going to be extra bases. Matsui goes into the corner. He'll play it off the wall, and Yano picks up his second base hit of the ball game. He's 2 for 2.
Yano, one of the better catchers in Japanese baseball. And he turns nicely on a pitch inside, looked like a sinker. He hits it on the ground. That's what DePaula wanted. He didn't want it down the third baseline. Matsui's going to get it out of the corner and get it back in.
It seems like Donovan Osborne is the number 5 starter, but if you wonder after a performance like this, if DePaula comes in and really pitches very, very well, does he move ahead of him? Here's Fujimoto, and the pitch is high. DePaula was considered the Yankees' 6th starter, but he had a bad back early in the spring, bad lower back, and didn't get in the innings that he needed, but he has pitched of late and pitched fairly well.
He got a start on the 21st at Legends Field against the Devil Rays. Worked 5 innings, gave up a run, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, didn't walk anybody, and at one time he retired 12 Devil Rays in a row, over the span of 5 innings, and that was his best outing of the spring.
1-1. Line deep to center field, but Lofton's there. He'll put it away. Tagging is Yano. He'll go. Lofton had trouble getting the ball out of the glove, so Yano tags and goes to third, as Fujimoto flies to center for the first out.
Number 7, Makoto.
A productive at moving the runner over to third. Well, let's see if the Yankees bring the infield in here with 1 out. Here's Lofton trying to transfer from glove to hand, drops the ball. The out is completed by making the catch. And Yano will tag up and scamper over to third base. The Yankees going to play infield back. I think during the regular season you would see the infield come in.
Definitely down 7-1.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to give up any more runs.
Out left field chanting Imoka. Imoka. And there's a breaking ball strike. Tony Clark is taken over at first base as Jason Giambi gets the rest of the game off. Japanese symbols on the left don't read Tony Clark, they read first baseman. And that is popped up foul, out of play. They put in a good day's work. Fly ball, shallow left field. Going to be a tough play. Jeter goes out. He can't get there. It's a foul ball. Too far for Matsui. But Jeter, who retreats on fly balls very well, got closest.
We pointed out the screens that they have down the lines, and that's to protect the fans. Here's Derek coming over, and just out of his reach. Those screens go all the way down toward the foul pole in left and right field to prevent the line drives from harming a fan in those areas.
DePaula strikes out Imoka for the second out of the inning. That's a big out, as Imoka could not get the runner in from third. So 2 down, and that brings Akahoshi.
Like he chased something up in the zone. It might have been a high changeup. You usually can't get away with a pitch like that, but DePaula has.
I was watching Yomiuri Giant batting practice this morning with Jorge Posada. That ball's fouled away. And he said one thing that really interested me, Kenny. I wonder if you see the same thing. He was really locked into all the guys taking BP. He said the thing that I notice about all of these Japanese players, they have extraordinary balance at the plate. Are you seeing the same thing?
Well, I think we've seen it with Matsui.
There's a ground ball to first, backhanded by Clark, tosses to DePaula, and that will do it. We will continue on this when we get back. So DePaula works out of trouble, no runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. The Tokyo Tower, which is actually taller than the Eiffel Tower and a point of interest here in Japan.
For the NBA's best, it's nothing but Nets. Tomorrow, Jefferson and the Nets get fierce on fierce and the Boston Celtics in New Jersey. Join Fred Hickman for complete pregame coverage tomorrow starting at 7, only on Yes. The Yankees descend upon the land of the rising sun to kick off their 2004 campaign Tuesday. It's the historic season opener in Japan as Messina and the Yanks look to hook the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Pregame coverage starts Tuesday morning at 4:30, only on Yes.
I'd like to start getting home delivery of the New York Times.
Now you can get the New York Times delivered to your home for 50% off the regular price for 8 full weeks.
The New York Times brings the world into our house every day. It's not just that they cover the news so well. It's the way they surround a story, giving me so many different ways to understand what's going on.
Call 1-800-562-7979 today to start getting the New York Times delivered to your home. You'll receive the Times every single day for as low as $4.65 a week.
I need to understand what's affecting our investments.
And what's happening on the web.
Or if you prefer, subscribe to the Times on weekends only for as low as $2.40 a week. That's 50% off the regular price of home delivery.
The world's moving pretty fast out there.
This definitely helps.
Get delivery of the New York Times every day for as low as $4.65 a week or $2.40 for weekends. Call 1-800-562-7979 today.
Do you have a piece of prize sports memorabilia unlike anyone else?
This is amazing.
The Yes Network is looking for those unique items hidden in your attic or proudly displayed on your mantle for our show, What's It Worth?
You have some very, very interesting pieces.
Tell us about your collectible by sending an email to whatsitworth@yesnetwork.com and you might be on our show.
You need to do your homework to find out what it's worth.
For more information, log on to our website at yesnetwork.com. What's it worth? Write us and find out today.
Last time the Yankees came here as a team, here being Tokyo, was 1955. And they brought some big names. Mickey Mantle, obviously, Yogi Berra, Whitey Ford. And Mickey celebrated his 24th birthday here. Yankees went 15-0-1 on the tour. They drew 478,000 fans. And in one game, 64,000 at Cochin Stadium. So Yankees were big back here in 1955.
Yeah, Cochin Stadium, we mentioned, it's the home stadium of the Hanshin Tigers. They still play there.
Here's Gary Sheffield.
An interesting note about that stadium. We mentioned that the teams in Japan are corporate owned. And there are 4 arms to the Hanshin Corporation. Those arms are all intertwined. They have a rail line, a department store, the stadium, and the team. That's what they own.
Deep to left field, but foul.
Well, the terminus of the rail line is at the department store. And the rail line actually goes from the department store, and one of the stops is the stadium. So those arms are intertwined. So you can go to the department store, do some shopping, get on the train, go to the stadium, and watch the team.
We call it synergy.
Yeah, that's somebody was thinking ahead.
That's pretty good. Gary Sheffield broke his bat, gets another. Makawa has a 7-1 lead. Big healthy cut. And Sheffield is down on strikes. 1 away. Let's get back to the balance thing, Kenny. Okay. What does that mean?
Well, he's thinking that they don't overswing, particularly with 2 strikes. They want to make contact. And when you think about it, hitting is trying to make contact, put the ball in play. You know, we see certain hitters, and it's primarily the foreign players that come over here are paid for power. They're the ones they want to hit homers. And you'll see more strikeouts from them.
Posada fouls one down the right field line.
But the Japanese players are the ones that actually put the ball in play a little bit more. There's it's down the ball boy down the foul line.
Posada with a long home run in this morning's game against Yomiuri. He is the DH in tonight's game and the number 6 hitter. Struck out in the second inning against Mikawa. And the 0-2. You look at the Tigers, and the Tigers are kind of the hard luck team in Japan. They last won the Japan series in 1985. And it was a big deal that they were league champs last year. They went to the 7th game of the Japan series and lost. They have not repeated as league champs since 1937. And you see the series that the Hawks won against the Tigers 4-3. They lost the 7th game 6-2. But there's a story behind it, Kenny. When they won in 1985, they really celebrated. The fans went absolutely nuts, and they all jumped into a river in Osaka. And one of the things they also did, because they were so delirious that their team finally won, is that they went to a Kentucky Fried Chicken in town. And in front of the Kentucky Fried Chicken was a statue of Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
So what they did was they ripped the statue out of the concrete, and they threw Colonel Sanders into the river. And they felt, in retrospect, how rude that was and against the culture of Japan. And they feel that that's the reason they have never won again, because they've been jinxed by Colonel Sanders.
The Cubs have the curse of the goat. They have the curse of the chicken, huh?
There's the poor Colonel.
Yeah, and they fished him out of the river?
Well, he didn't swim very well.
I actually understand that one or two of the fans who dove in the river actually drowned.
Really?
Yeah, so the tradition is if they win, you jump into the river. I cannot see Yankee fans hopping into the Harlem River.
Ground ball, base hit up the middle by Posada. 1-out single here in the 4th.
Catcher.
I mean, you get to October, it's a little cold in New York. You're not going in that river.
No.
Maybe not even in July.
That is some tradition. I guess you could say finger losing good. Here's John Flaherty.
Oh, my goodness.
Flaherty singled to left in the second inning. Scored the Yankees' only run on a wild pitch that inning as well. Hit deep to left field. Going back is Kazumoto. Gone. See ya. A line drive home run by John Flaherty. A 2-run shot. And now the Tigers lead 7-3.
John Flaherty is a definite high ball hitter. And Mikawa might be getting a little tired here, because he put one right up in the happy zone of John Flaherty. Flaherty's now 2 for 2 and has scored 2 of the 3 runs. A single and now a line drive home. This pitch is up. Right about that interlocking NY.
It was too long, a low of a line drive for him to style it all. He was running hard out of the box. Here's Miguel Cairo. There's strike. Now the Tigers have jumped out to an early lead against the Devil Rays last night as well, and they lost that lead.
The Devil Rays scored to what? 2 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th, 3 and 2 to tie.
A Rocco Baldelli home run and then a Julio Lugo home run, a 2-run shot in the 9th inning, and that game ended in a 7-7 tie. So everybody back in Pearl River and in Nyack cheering at the screen right now. John Flaherty hails from that area, and they've seen their native son go 2 for 2. The 0-2 to Cairo. Soft ground ball toward third. Give me a tough play for Kincaid. Fields bobbles, no throw. Cairo picks up a hit.
Center fielder, number 12.
Here's the boot by Kincaid at third. Now, we've seen him play the outfield. in the United States with the Dodgers and the Orioles, primarily the left fielder. But here in Japan, they're going to have him at third base, a little bobble. That's a base hit, though, for Cairo. Cairo's now 2 for 2.
Kenny, we just get word the home run by Flaherty was 115 meters. I have no idea how many feet that is. But you do, don't you?
Yeah, I might.
115 meters.
We got kilometers here. If that went a mile.
There's a bunt by Lofton. Let's see if he can beat it out. He does not. A good play by the catcher, Yano, exhibiting why he's a Golden Glove player behind the plate. So Lofton trying to get on any way he can. Remember, Kenny said that when you're in a slump and you're a player like Lofton, you'll try to get on via the bunt, but he could not do it.
Well, Yano did a good job of getting out there and making the play. Well, he was very quick, cat-like quickness coming from behind the plate to make the play on Lofton. So maybe Kenny Lofton thinking along the lines, when I got in a slump, if I was going to bunt, they were going to throw me out anyway. But for Kenny Lofton, he gets one down in a good area, he's going to beat it out most of the time.
Kenny is 8 for 48 so far this spring. So runner on second base, 2 outs. Here's Derek Jeter. He's 0 for 2 in this game. A ground ball is short and a ground ball is second. Tigers 7, Yankees 3 here in the top of the 4th inning at the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. Pitch is low off the glove of Yano. We are told that 115 meters, 374 feet. I remember when they were trying to teach the metric system in school, I just said, I'm done. There's no way that I can ever get this done. And they said every teacher would tell you, well, that's what it's going to be in 10 years, everywhere in the world, but never stuck in the United States.
We're still waiting, right?
There was a time in the 70s, I think, in baseball, they started putting the meters under the foot sign on the wall, but those are slowly gone. We don't adapt very well in the States. Don't like change. The 2-0. Jeter chases a high pitch to count 2-1.
There's the individual choice that you have that you should be thankful for.
And I am. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay, and you are watching Yankees baseball live from Tokyo, Japan, right here on the YES Network. That one is lined to center field. Akahoshi is there, and he's going to drop in front of him for a base hit. He misplayed that ball. Scoring is Cairo. It's an RBI single for Jeter, and the Yankees have crept to within 7-4. So Akahoshi, who's a Golden Glove center fielder, took a step back, and the ball kind of died and dropped in front of him. Maybe he had some topspin on it.
Well, he did take a couple of false steps towards the wall, and then the ball just sinks right in front of him for a base hit. You can see him trying to recover. He's got great speed, but he's not speedy enough. Gets the ball back in. The Yankees are going to get another run because of the misplay by the center fielder, Akahoshi, the Red Star.
Did you see his glove? Pretty funky looking glove there for a 2-time Golden Glove winner. Huh?
That's why he's the Red Star.
That's nice. So Jeter with an RBI single. And they take him out for a pinch runner. And that'll bring up Matsui.
Just like Felix Escalona.
Line drive on one hop by Kincaid. Across the diamond, that'll do it. So Matsui hit the ball hard. But Kincaid speared it for the final out of the inning. Yankees creep closer, though. 3 runs on 4 hits. No errors and 1 man left. John Flaherty with the big blow. Makawa deals. Flaherty 115 meters. That's 374 yards to you and me at 7-4.
Swung on, hit high and deep to right field. It is high, it is far, it is gone.
Hey, baseball fans, it won't be long before the New York Yankees take the field to open the 2004 season. Call now and secure your Yankees season ticket packages or partial ticket plan. Season ticket plans offer you preferred pricing advantages, access to great seat locations, and postseason priority. The 2004 New York Yankees world class.
I guess some cars are just natural-born followers. Got no motivation, no drive. But this car has a different vibe. It's all about forward progress, maximum momentum, 16-valve power, 6 on the floor. Just give it a destination and go where the vibe takes you. The 2004 Vibe GT. The new Power Pontiac. That's fuel for the soul.
Get the hottest selling car in its class. Visit your Pontiac dealer.
Yeah, I'm a preferred service member. You don't have to go to the counter. You can go right to your car.
What would it be like if Avis didn't try harder?
Is this the line to check in? Oh, great.
Get a load of the new guy. I'm too good to wait in line.
If we didn't try harder, we wouldn't be Avis. Free preferred service only at Avis. Call now to sign up.
Joe Torre will replace Hideki Matsui with Homer Bush at left, and he did that so he can get Matsui a hand. And the fans behind the Yankee dugout on the first base side give him a very, very soft standing ovation. And the crowd is not very loud here at Tokyo Dome. But we explained before that this crowd is mostly Hanshin Tiger fans. And the Hanshin Tigers hate the Yomiuri Giants, and that is the team for which Matsui starred. Pitch to Kincaid is a strike. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning, and the Hanshin Tigers lead the Yankees 7-4.
I think this is the first time I've actually seen Homer Bush in the outfield.
Line drive caught by Escalona, one away. A lot of changes for the Yankees defensively. Homer Bush is in left field. Bigger glove than he uses at second base. Center fielder is Darren Bragg taking over for Kenny Lofton. And Bubba Crosby's over right. Bragg and Crosby probably battling for that last spot on the roster, which at the end of the day must be set. You just got to look at Escalona at shortstop. And you know that Tony Clark in the previous inning took over at first. Kanemoto, 1 for 2. And there's a strike from DePaula. Tell you what, it's a job coming to a game. You don't sit back and enjoy. You actually take part.
Get your money's worth.
It should pay them. Seven, 10, and 0 for the Hanshin Tigers, and the Yankees 4-8-0. Swing and a miss, and Kanemoto down on strikes. Second strikeout for DePaula in his second inning of work.
And now pinch hitting for Hamanaka.
DePaula has had some good outings his last 2 times out here, and setting this Yankee roster is not going to be an easy deal. You mentioned Darren Bragg and Bubba Crosby. Crosby's had a great spring.
Pinch hitter for the Tigers. Pinch hitting for Hamanaka. And this is, let's see, Shinjiro Hayama. And Hayama swings and grounds one through the right side for a base hit. So a pinch hit single for Shinjiro Hayama. Coming up after the game on Yes, get a preview of the rearmed, reloaded, and reunited Yankees with Yankees 2004. Join the Yes Network team for a look at the upcoming season, featuring interviews with the players and insights from the experts on Yankees 2004 coming up after the game, and that is right here on Yes. And the pitch to Arias is a breaking ball strike.
Well, the manager Okada pressed the right button, sends up Hayama to pinch hit. He comes through, and we mentioned this is Okada's first year managing the Hanshin Tigers. Now, last year the Tigers went to the 7th game of the championship series. They represented Central League against Pacific, and they lost it, and that kind of forced the previous manager to resign.
And the team they lost to was Sadaharu's team.
So the previous manager, could he be considered the Grady Little of the Japanese league?
I don't know if he left Pedro in too long. But as we mentioned yesterday, no manager ever gets fired in Japan. Yankees had a pitch out, nothing doing. They have to resign. So you're told that your services are no longer needed, and in order to save face, they ask you to resign, and that's exactly what happens. But you never get fired.
You don't have. You're fired. You don't have that here.
Tries to check his swing. He cannot. Arias goes around. So that is the 3rd strikeout for DePaula. Another scoreless inning for him. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the 5th at the Tokyo Dome. 7-4 Tigers lead the Yanks.
Introducing the all-new Dodge Durango. With all-new power, all-new room, all-new ride, all-new interior, all-new capability, all-new safety features, all-new capacity. 1 part power, 1 part comfort. 1 all-new Durango. Starting under $26,600. And now Detroit Free Press Truck of the Year.
Who took my Heineken?
The Bronx Bombers are back, rearmed, reloaded, and reunited for another run at the title. Join the Yes Network for a complete preview of the upcoming season on Yankees 2004. Coming up after the Yankees game, only on Yes. The Yankees descend upon the land of the rising sun to kick off their 2004 campaign Tuesday. It's the historic season opener in Japan as Messina and the Yanks look to hook the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Pre-game coverage starts Tuesday morning at 4:30, only on Yes.
Right outside the Tokyo Dome is a beautiful plaque of Sadaharu, 868 home runs. And that is the all-time leader in professional baseball. And he is beloved here, where he made his name with the Tokyo Giants. Mentioned Sadaharu is now a manager. Last year he managed the Daiei Hawks to the Japan Series Championship. You wonder what he could have done in the States, but at that time, they didn't make the transfer. It was frowned upon. It's still certainly not accepted with open arms, but it's a little bit more accepted than it was then. And you can see the rankings that O has. Oh my is right. First in almost everything, led the league in home runs 15 times, RBIs 13 times, 5 batting titles to go along with the 868 home runs. He will always be connected with Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron, the state's leader with 755 home runs, and actually had a home run hitting contest against Sadaharu. That was right here in Japan.
That was at Korakuen Stadium, but was right outside of just a few feet from this Tokyo Dome. Of course, it's been dismantled. And back in the day, Hammer and Hank and Sadaharu got together.
New pitcher for the Hanshin Tigers, Keiji Yabu. Yabu, a veteran right-hander, 36 years old, has expressed an interest to play in the States. He's a reliever now with the Tiger team.
They say he's on the downside of his career, but he goes to Florida after each season to work out in preparation for maybe his shot at pitching in the major leagues in the United States. The pitcher on the Hanshin Tigers that draws the most interest from American scouts is Igawa, and he is going to pitch opening day or night against the Giants here at the Tokyo Dome. He's about 25 years old and throws very hard, but he's not eligible to become a free agent until 2009, and that's kind of the hold that Japanese owners have on these players. 9 years before you can become a free agent.
A little bit low, and Rodriguez has worked the count full. Rodriguez is 1 for 1 with a walk, infield single. That was in the first inning. Slow roller down the third baseline. And then he walked in the third. 7-4. Tigers lead the Yankees top of the fifth inning. And Yabu deals. Reaches out, taps it to right field, but he really gives it a ride. The new right fielder, Hiyama, runs it down for the first out of the inning. See the strength there of Alex Rodriguez. Just a flick of the wrist, and the ball went to the warning track in right field.
Well, Yabu went with his best pitch, a pretty good slider down and away. Watch Alex go out and get it. Got the good wood on it. Makes you wonder, would that have been in the seats at Yankee Stadium? It'd have been close.
With that swing, he's going to hit a lot of home runs at Yankee Stadium.
And Hiyama makes the play in right field.
Here's Tony Clark, his first at bat. Now, Tony Clark's going to make the team. For a while there, it didn't seem like he was going to. Travis Lee, who the Yankees signed right as spring training was beginning, had wrested that backup job from Tony Clark. But his shoulder has started to act up, and he's going to start the season on the DL. So Tony Clark will be the backup first baseman, the defensive replacement for Jason Giambi. Very few roster spots open with this Yankee team.
Well, one of the things that when you have a good team, there aren't many spots open for anybody. I mean, the team is more or less set when they come to spring training. They kind of know what's going to happen. It's the teams that finish at the bottom of the standings. They're the ones who have to make the drastic changes and try and move up the ladder.
Well, the Yankees took 33 players on this trip. And obviously, by the time Tony Clark's ball comes down, they cut it down to 25. See ya! A long home run by Tony Clark. And the Yankees have closed it to 7-5. Oh, did he hit that? Look at that. That's even farther than the one Matsui hit last night. It's stuck underneath the diamond vision. Even Tony Clark's impressed.
That got a whoa from the crowd.
Oh my, look at that.
Now they say if you hit one of those signs out there, or the advertising signs, you get that product, or at least something from that product. He just missed the Mitsubishi screen at it. Would he gotten a nice big screen? They're taking pictures of the ball staying up there. Here it is. There it goes. Tony knew it right away. You can't hit a ball that well and stay in the park.
And Bubba Crosby. They say that one traveled 150 meters. We'll try to figure out what that is.
Oh, it did hit the big screen.
So he gets a big screen. I think he broke a light.
Do you have anything to declare? Yes.
Right over RBI he broke.
It'd be tough getting that back through customs.
He actually broke a light. Reggie said, I used to hit him like that.
He did.
Well, that's going to cost somebody some money. 492 feet. See what Bubba Crosby did last year with the Dodgers AAA Farm Club, Las Vegas. Knocked out an RBI. In many ways, he knocked out an RBI. That's one of the longest home runs you'll ever see.
Oh, my goodness, that was 10. I would have liked to see that one hit at Yankee Stadium. That's headed for You know, the black seats, essentially, easily, to the rear of the black seats.
You were the first guy to hit one of the black seats, right, Ken?
After the stadium was remodeled.
It's still pretty rare to get out there. Bubba Crosby goes down on strikes.
Designated hitter, number 20, Jorge.
Reggie hit one that very same year, 1977, but his was during the World Series. It was the third of the 3 home runs that he hit against the Dodgers. And Reggie hit one off a light tower in Detroit. I can't recall.
71 All-Star game.
71 All-Star game. Smoked one up there. I think it was off Doc Ellis.
Here's Posada. I think later on in his career, Doc Ellis actually hit Reggie Jackson in the face with a pitch.
He did. I was there that night. Reggie was playing for Baltimore. That one year he played for the Orioles. And tell you the story. That particular night, there's 2 outs. I hate to start a story with 2 outs, but that particular night, Doc Ellis had a way of, when he wanted a new ball, he threw the ball in pretty hard. He threw it near Mark Belanger and almost hit him. So Reggie yelled from the dugout, if you want to throw at somebody, throw at me. And when Reggie came up the next inning, Doc hit him right in the side of the face. And by the time Reggie got to the dugout, his glasses were broken, and his cheekbone, it looked like he had swallowed like a pack of marshmallows. I mean, his cheek was that large.
Swing and a miss, and Posada goes down on strikes. But the story of this inning, well, those broken light bulbs by Tony Clark. Tony Clark, the backup Yankee first baseman, hits a 492-foot home run. A bomber blast here in the Far East at 7-5 Tigers as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
What if it had DVD navigation and laser-assisted cruise control? What if it had a rear-view monitor to see what lies behind? And one of the most advanced all-wheel drive systems in the world to propel you ahead? What if has become what is? The FX from Infinity.
Yeah, I'm a preferred service member. You don't have to go to the counter. You can go right to your car.
What would it be like if Avis didn't try harder?
Is this the line to check in? Oh, great.
Get a load of the new guy. I'm too good to wait in line.
If we didn't try harder, we wouldn't be Avis. Free preferred service only at Avis. Call now to sign up.
In the desire to move ideas forward, printing in black and white has served us well. But color is more effective. The fly in the ointment. Cost. Imagine multi-function printers that give you low-cost color without raising the cost of your black and white. The new line of color printing systems from Ricoh. Ricoh.
This Sunday, start collecting Hall of Fame Yankees in the Daily News. Every Sunday, you'll get a free 8x10 print of a Yankees Hall of Famer, along with the stats that got him there in a colorful Bill Gallo portrait. Now you can create your own Yankees Hall of Fame from the official Daily News photo collection. Greats like Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Phil Rizzuto, Mickey Mantle, and this Sunday, Yogi Berra. Get your frameable photos free every Sunday, only in the Daily News.
Toritani leads off here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and DePaula starts him off with a strike. And the count is 0-1. Yankees trailing 7-1 at one point, have closed it to 7-5 now. Toritani lines one to center field. Darren Bragg is there, one away. I think that Tony Clark home run warrants a closer look replay brought to you by Samsung.
Here's the Yabu's pitch, and Tony is in the launch mode. He downloaded on that one. That's our Samsung closer look replay. Man.
Now that is a literal lights out home run.
Yeah. Picture perfect.
Picture perfect. The pitch to Yano is a strike.
Michael, before we go any further here, I want to acknowledge a person who has helped us these last 2 days, and it's a good friend of mine, Fumihiro Fujisawa, whose nickname is Fuchan. You've gotten to know him, and he knows everything about Japanese baseball and American baseball. He happens to be an English teacher here. And there's Fumihiro Fuchan, who's I met way back in 1979 on my first All-Star tour here in Japan, and he was he took me all over Japan and just made sure I didn't get lost because I couldn't read the signs, that's for sure. And I just want to acknowledge that Fuchan and how he has helped us, and he's a wonderful friend who will always be my friend, and I appreciate his help.
And he's a great guy, and boy, he's made us really understand the entire Japanese experience, and he's given us background on all the players, so they're not just names to us, and there's stories behind them. So we do thank him. He's done an unbelievable job.
Yeah, now with the modern technology, we used to write letters over the years, but now we can email. You know, how cool is that?
That's great. That's a deep fly ball to center field. Bragg is back, still back, still back, still back. And the ball is off his body and rolls untouched on the warning track. Yano is hustling to third. They're going to send him home. Here's the throw. Here's the play. He's in there. An inside the park home run by Akihiro Yano. And the Tigers lead 8-5. That's a long way for a catcher to go.
A long way, but certainly a lifetime of memories for Mr. Yano. Let's check out the hit. He hits it pretty well to straightaway center field. I thought that Darren Bragg was going to make the play. He falls down and attempting to make the catch, and now Yano is on the move. Runs pretty well for a catcher. They say that too many times. He runs okay. And he's in ahead of the throw of the plate, and it's the 8th run for the Tigers.
Pitch to Fujimoto is outside. Bragg had a lot of trouble going back on this.
Yeah, he sped up and lost his footing, and then couldn't find the ball.
Line drive to center field, a base hit for Fujimoto. Now, I called it an inside the park home run. Fuchan tells me in Japan they call it a running home run. So a running home run for Akihiro Yano, who is still gasping for air.
What's more of the literal translation, a running home run.
13th hit for the Hanshin Tigers. Here's Amoka. The first to throw to first as Fujimoto is back. After this game, they will clear the stadium. And then they'll have a second game tonight, which would be early Monday morning in New York. And that'll be between the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the Yomiuri Giants. Same thing happened yesterday, and the first game was between the Devil Rays and the Hanshin Tigers. That one's chopped to third. Cairo Fields goes to second, not in time. Good hustle by Fujimoto, and a base hit for Amoka.
The play for Cairo was actually at first base with the high hop. The run at first had a good lead, so he's got more of a chance to advance 90 feet, and he does. The man who hit the ball has to start at home plate was the actual 90 feet away. The runner at first has a lead. He makes it to second. The play was at first base.
The throw was received by Wilson, who took over second. Cairo moved to third to replace Alex Rodriguez. Here's Akahoshi. The pitch is inside. Anyway, the point I wanted to make about the ballpark is when that first game ended yesterday, Kenny and I were sitting here doing some preparation, and we could not believe how spotless this ballpark was. People just don't throw things on the floor, and to clean a stadium with 50,000 people, it was completely immaculate. Nice play by DePaula as he beats Akahoshi to the bag. 2 ways the runners move up.
There's a reason for that. They had people actually go up and down the aisles, taking what the fans don't want anymore. They've used the cups, the cans, and whatever, and then they come up and down the aisles and just, as you would on an airplane, or the flight attendants take care.
Look at the floor in the conference. That's cleaner than my kitchen. And I tell you what, the vendors are unbelievable. Everybody raises their hand politely. They get the food delivered, and then people, if they have some garbage to throw away, somebody picks it up for them. Ground ball back to DePaula by Kincaid. Underhand flip to Clark, and that will do it here in the 5th. But the Tigers get a run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. A running home run by Akihiro Yano. He's a triple away from the cycle. Tigers lead 8-5.
In New York, stay at the Affinia Dumont, an executive fitness suite hotel where healthy meets high tech. Call 1-866-AFFINIA or take a virtual tour at affinia.com. The Yankees descend upon the land of the rising sun to kick off their 2004 campaign Tuesday. It's the historic season opener in Japan as Messina and the Yanks look to hook the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Pre-game coverage starts Tuesday morning at 4:30 only on Yes.
Glucose plus oxygen equals carbon dioxide.
I'd like to pass them back to you now. Very pleased with your work.
She's got the drive, the energy, the heart, and the talent.
Pre-med.
But she wouldn't be here without your help. Please support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Here I am today, living witness that hard work and perseverance and all those things, they do pay off. And you don't have to be 6'3" or 6'4" to achieve it.
Relive your fondest memories of Ozzie Smith and all your other heroes at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. For information, visit baseballhalloffame.org or call 888-HALL-OF-FAME. Preserving history, honoring excellence, connecting generations. The Baseball Hall of Fame.
The Red Army is on the march again.
He's got a chance, and he takes it.
Manchester United, the English Premier League champions, are here on Yes.
He's got the shot in as well.
Van Nistelrooy, Scholes, Solskjaer, and American Tim Howard.
It gets better and better.
Every Red Devils match from the English Premiership season is here on Yes.
Hat-trick for the Dutchman.
Join the Red Army all season long.
Right here on Yes.
The home of champions.
And Kenny, this is why the place is spotless. They just don't have that in the States. And even the girl who's helping clean up is immaculate. Nice purple outfit.
That is,
And to the top of the city.
And it's a very nice facility. And the Japanese people have been really gracious hosts. Everybody in all the traveling parties, the Yankees and the Devil Rays, have been just treated royally. They had a great party the other night for everybody. All the players were there. The commissioner of both leagues.
You find yourself nodding at people like because they nod at you, and the tradition is to bow in respect for the other people?
I think I'm becoming nicer while I'm here in Tokyo. I bow a lot.
Okay, we'll see.
Oh, I can turn back the clock. Flaherty's 2 for 2, a single, and a 2-run home run. Yabu in his second inning of work. And there's strike. One thing that you don't see in Japan, you see the back of Yabu's uniform, number 4. And that is the number of death here in Japan. And very few players wear that number. In fact, number 4 is to Japan what number 13 is to the States. 13 has no meaning whatsoever in this country. Some hotels in Japan actually don't have a 4th floor. Yankees have a number 13, and that's considered a risk by Alex Rodriguez. But number 4 is a real risk for anybody in Japan. Some rooms don't have a number 4 in hotels. Players shy away from a number 4. And it's very strange to see a pitcher like Yabu with that digit on his back. Swing and a miss. Flaherty down on strikes. Yabu has struck out the last 3 Yankees.
Third baseman, number 41, Miguel Cairo.
In fact, the most famous team in Japan, the Yomiuri Giants, number 4 is actually retired. Toshio Kurosawa wore number 4. Was not a great player, but he died of an untimely illness while he was playing. And that number is now retired, never to be worn again. Ironically enough, number 4 with the Yankees retired. Lou Gehrig wore it, and he died of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.